Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, about explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Officer Washington with the St. Louis County Police Department's Public Information Office. This critical incident briefing is intended to provide you with information about an assault on a law enforcement officer that occurred on February 21st, 2023 in the 8600 block of Goodfellow Boulevard in the city of Jennings, Missouri. As part of our commitment to transparency, we will show you relevant video footage, evidence, and a law enforcement response to this incident. Because this investigation is still active, our goal is to provide you with a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know up to this point. The St. Louis County Police Department conducts thorough use of force investigations, which typically require detectives to interview multiple witnesses, view numerous hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. This portrayal is not intended to draw any conclusions about whether the officers involved acted consistent with the department's policies and the law until all the facts are known and the investigation is finalized. Investigations involving uses of force could take several months to complete. A word of caution: the images you're about to see may be disturbing and you may hear strong or coarse language. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or to defend themselves or innocent victims against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Tim Cunningham, Commander of the Division of Criminal Investigation. On Wednesday, February 21st, 2023, St. Louis County detectives were involved in a use of force that left one suspect suffering from a non-life-threatening injury. At approximately 2:15 p.m., St. Louis County police detectives observed a 2016 Ford Explorer with expired temporary license plates driving recklessly on Halls Ferry Road near the intersection of Jennings Station Road in the city of Jennings. Detectives watched the speeding vehicle enter the Halls Ferry Circle, then travel west on Riverview Boulevard. Officers attempted to get behind the vehicle to conduct a traffic stop. However, due to the suspect's manner of driving, they were unable to do so until the vehicle turned northbound on McLaren Drive from Riverview Boulevard. At approximately 2:17 p.m., detectives in an unmarked police vehicle activated their emergency lights and siren to attempt a traffic stop. Approximately 9 seconds after the emergency lights and siren were activated, the driver turned onto Goodfellow Boulevard at a high rate of speed. The suspect vehicle then struck two utility poles. While the disabled vehicle was still rolling forward, the suspect exited his car and fled with a pistol in his hand. The suspect ran onto the parking lot of 8645 Goodfellow Boulevard. While running, the suspect turned, extended his arm, aimed a pistol, and fired at detectives in an unmarked vehicle with its lights and siren activated. The suspect was then struck by unmarked police vehicles. The suspect was taken into custody and ultimately transported by ambulance to an area hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. On Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023, the suspect, now identified as Taiwansley Jackson, age 42 of the first block of Capitol Hill in St. Louis, Missouri, was charged with one count of assault first degree, one count of armed criminal action, one count of resisting arrest by fleeing, and one count of unlawful possession of a firearm. Charges are merely an accusation, and defendants are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law. You're about to hear relevant police radio traffic of the detective's response to the incident just described.
Are you still available? There's a silver Explorer going Halls Ferry towards the circle, in and out of traffic. Silver Ford Explorer. It's probably at the circle now.
Yeah, it's up at the circle now. Stopped, getting ready to go through it. It's off through the circle, through Goodfellow. Looks like it is going Riverview towards West Florissant.
Missouri temp. It's going to be 06 Frank. Actually, 066 Boston Whiskey John.
Fire 2016 Ford.
This Explorer's going to turn right on McLaren towards Goodfellow from Riverview. don't know if you have a second to keep an eye on this car to your left. It's going at a high rate of speed. I'm going to light it up. It's a silver Ford Explorer.
Be down at Goodfellow McLaren in a second.
Almost there. I got lights on him, and he is fleeing. He is going left turn.
Black male, red hoodie. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's turning back to shoot at him. He's turning back to shoot at him. He's shot fire. Shot fire. Shot fire. I'm gonna take him out. Sending him out. Sending him out.
Yeah. Shots fired at police. All police are okay. Suspects down. We need an ambulance.
Goodfellow into model court. Goodfellow into model court. Shut down Goodfellow. Don't McLaren. Shut it down. Shut it down with the tracks. You sit over top of here. We need to check these houses. Make sure everybody's good. He shut back towards these houses.
All right, yeah, take out this crime scene from McLaren to D'Amato. Sorry, hold on. Or somebody can get a hold of crime again. EMS en route.
Now you will see video footage from area security cameras relevant to this incident. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Knock the fuck out of him. Yes. Hell yeah.
Detectives did locate a Glock Model 44 pistol attributed to Mr. Jackson on the scene. Ballistic evidence recovered at the scene was forensically identified as having been fired from Mr. Jackson's firearm. No detectives fired shots, and no detectives were injured in this incident. The St. Louis County police detectives involved in this use of force are 38 years of age with 14 years of law enforcement experience and 35 years of age with 12 years of law enforcement experience.
The St. Louis County Police Department has all of its
With 12 years of law enforcement.
All right, let's get into this one. This one's pretty good. So these people, man, like these street criminals, the ones who are into shit they don't need to be getting into, who want to avoid the police, they are some of the worst drivers ever. And it's mind-boggling in a way too, because you would think that they should know that bad driving is going to attract attention to them, that the bad driving and driving like an idiot is going to catch the attention of the police, but yet they still do it. I don't know about that area, but I know in my area, the driving has got way worse all across the board. And it's not just the street thugs who are horrible drivers anyway. It's just damn near everyone. And I attribute that to short staffing within the police agencies. No one has time to sit around and run LiDAR or run radar. Like there's no time, there's no free time like that. Everyone's short staffed. Everyone's going call to call to call to call. And because people don't see a squad car parked running LiDAR or running radar, they feel more comfortable driving like shit because they know no one's going to catch them. They don't see people pulled over very often. And so I think that in and of itself leads to people developing these bad driving habits because there's no police around to check them. In a large area like that, I could see probably that maybe having some contributing factors as well. The police there's just not enough of them to do a lot of good traffic enforcement. They're probably going call to call. So on a normal day, there's probably some crappy drivers, but when these little street thugs, like, they're always bad driving. And that just, like I said, that just kind of, it's piqued my interest. That, the people who are doing stuff that, they don't want to be caught for, don't want to get the attention of, you would think that the one thing they could do is just blend in with everyone else and get from point A to point B and not get stopped or hassled by the police. But they don't do it. They just drive like shit. And I think some of it has to do with some of their mentality of where they're at. They can do what the hell they want when they're in their hood because nobody's going to check them, and they think that kind of translates to everywhere else when they go. They think they can do whatever the fuck they want. And then, sadly, because there's not a whole lot of police out doing traffic, they do kind of get away with it, and I think that kind of emboldens their mindset on they can drive however the hell they want and get away with it. So the detective cars, no dash cam footage from it, and no body cam footage. So I would say that the detective cars, they're unmarked. They don't look like a typical police car, so they don't have anything stuck in the windshield area like a dash cam or anything like that would give it away as a police car. And the guys inside, who knows what kind of uniforms they got on? They may have a vest or not. They may be plain clothes. A lot of times, in a lot of places, detectives are not given body cameras because they're typically not just out doing routine calls, going to calls for service like domestics and thefts and disturbances, blah, 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 and doing traffic stops and stuff like that. So I'd imagine that's probably why we don't get to see anything like that. In the 911 call, or not the 911 call, the radio traffic, the one officer talks about going and checking the houses when that guy had shot at them, because there are houses in the background, and that guy would have potentially sent some rounds into these houses as he missed shooting at the police. And so I think that was a good display of situational awareness, good mindset right there. That officer recognized the fact that in the backdrop there were residential houses, and this dude's rounds that missed could have went through a window and hit someone in the neck, could have hit someone in the chest, hit someone in the head, etc. And so those people who potentially could have been hit could have survivable wounds, but be incapacitated and not able to call for help. And if left unchecked or unfound, they could bleed to death. The expired tags. So some places, some people will say that's a small thing right there to be worried about, an expired tag, blah, blah, blah. Irresponsible people are the ones who generally are making very bad decisions in life. And so if you can't have the responsibility to go renew your damn tags or get actual tags, and the paper temporary tag he had was from apparently 2016, which that in of itself is a problem. So the fact this dude has a temporary tag on this car that expired in 2016 and is now 2023, you mean to tell me he's been driving this whole motherfucking time and not one cop has got behind him and noticed that the damn tags were expired? I mean, it's plausible. That could be it, but it's not like this was the only day this guy decided that he was going to drive like shit. I guarantee this guy's been driving like shit all along. So that sticks out to me, the fact that he's had these tags expired for so long. But back to what I was saying, some places think that, expired tags is not that, big of a deal. Police shouldn't be stopping people over it, yada, yada, yada. And I think there's been a couple super liberal places where the police have been directed by their chief or mayor or whatever that they're not going to be messing with, those lowly little things. I think those are good things to go after because, as I said, it is irresponsible people who are typically making the very bad decisions in life. And so an expired tag is a gateway to finding more. Guarantee you pull someone over with expired tags, there's going to be something going on with that person, something in that vehicle that should not be going on. And there may be some people who are, and it has to be within context too, like if it's a month expired, it could be a simple scheduling issue because people work Monday through Friday, and the courthouses are typically business hours Monday through Friday. There's no courthouse open on the weekend that I'm aware of. So people may have some difficulty in getting down to the courthouse in time to renew a tag or something like that, or sending in their renewal through the mail, and the U.S. Post Office being as screwed up as it is, losing mail. So if it's like within a month, yeah, I don't think there's going to be that big of an issue of finding like a bunch of stuff in the vehicle because, life happens, shit happens. But if the damn tag is like a year expired, that's a clue. That's a clue that there's something going on in that vehicle. Like, no one is that fucking forgetful that I forgot to renew my tags for an entire damn year. Like, come on now. There's a reason why the person's not going down to the courthouse to get their tags renewed. They're afraid they're going to get caught. They probably got warrants out for them. Back this up some. A hoodie with, like, what the hell is this? This guy's wardrobe is just all fucked up. He's got a hoodie. It looks like boots, maybe, and like long johns and shorts over top of that. Like, I don't know what this dude's wearing, but it looks stupid. Fucking love that. All right. So being in your vehicle and being shot at, a lot of people like the sexy Gucci look of shooting through the windshield. That can be an option, but is not the best option. When you start sending bullets through glass, windshield glass, and when you look at the construction of windshield glass, you've got glass, laminate glass. There's multiple layers there. When you start sending bullets through that type of barrier, that is going to cause your trajectory to deviate in some way. Your bullets may go off to the left, they may go off to the right, go up, go down. They're going to be off. So when you're in your vehicle and you shoot through the windshield and there is a target at the end of your car, right at the end of the hood, you put a round through that windshield. That round is going to deviate in some way and be off from where you're aiming. It may be minimal as far as how far it's off, but it'll be a little bit noticeable. As you begin to add increments of distance from the hood of the car and going further away, the deviation becomes very noticeable. And you don't get very far from the front hood of the vehicle before you stop hitting the target. It throws the rounds off that much. So in this context, it would not have been a viable option, in my opinion, for the officer to return fire through the windshield. His vehicle is still in gear, so the best thing for him to do is do what he just did. Use the vehicle as a weapon. So when you're shooting through a windshield, typically the tactic of shooting through a windshield is when you have become immobilized. Your vehicle's not moving anymore. There are some instances in which you could fire through the windshield when the vehicle is still in gear and you're still able to move it. But generally speaking, that's kind of a last-ditch effort. You're stuck in the vehicle, it's not able to move anywhere, and you need to put rounds downrange real quick. But as I've noted, the windshield creates a problem. Now, there is a way to increase your accuracy, and that is to put your rounds through the same hole that you've created, thus reducing the material that the bullet has to touch or go through to get to the target. It's not going to be very easy to do that while moving the vehicle and driving it at the same time. So for this scenario, shooting through the windshield is just, it could have been an option, but it was not a very good option at all. This option of hitting the accelerator and just running the dude over is the best option. A vehicle is several thousand pounds heavy. The speed at which it can attain in a short amount of time to hit a person, its mass, it is going to incapacitate a threat very easily. Aside from the impact ability of it, if you happen to actually go over top of the person, you can create crush and tear type of injuries, and there may also likely be burn injuries as well when the hot components of the undercarriage touch them. But just that crushing and tearing type of injuries, that can incapacitate a person better than a 9mm round fired into their chest. Plenty of people can be shot with handgun ammunition and still fight. There's not a whole lot of people who once they've been ran over, they can stand back up and continue to fight. Now, if all you did was ran over a leg, yeah, they can still fight from the ground, but you drive over the entire body. I mean, if they got lucky and you were in a field and they were kind of in a little bit of a depression almost, and you didn't attain that kind of crush or tear injuries by going over top of them, maybe they could get back up. But generally speaking, you fucking run someone over, they're not getting back up. So a vehicle can be a great self-defense tool. Let's back this up so we can see that impact one more time. Let's see. Whoop! Minivan go burp. Dude got taken out by a fucking minivan. Fucking soccer mom car. Love it. Boom. And look, you can see his gun too. Well, I don't know if that's the gun or if that's something from the vehicle. I don't know, but it takes his ass out. So, boom. And then the other car comes in through there. Leroy Jenkins. And I have no problem whatsoever with this other car coming in and just finishing the job. The guy could still be a deadly threat. And also, this vehicle was coming in at a very high rate of speed. Probably didn't even have the ability to stop in time. I would say that it's probably a pretty good chance that as they were coming in super fast, he may not have had the ability to fully stop when coming in through this direction over here, hit the guy, and then wanted to clear and get out of there. Thought that maybe, the guy was under the vehicle and, wanted to get the vehicle off the top of him. Best way to do it is just continue to move and then you're going to get that vehicle off of them. I mean, he could have just stopped the way he was and left the guy under the vehicle. I don't think that that would have been the best option. This is a great illustration of fuck around, find out.
Detective.
Really wish that there was another angle to be able to see, because it could be that after being hit, this guy was in a seated position and still had the gun in his hand, and this officer coming up saw that and decided to continue going forward. Either way, it doesn't fully matter to me. Whether the officer just could not stop in time, The officer decided to continue on and hit him, either seeing a gun in his hand or not seeing a gun in his hand. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. This guy tried to kill them, and he put those people in those houses at risk of them either dying or being seriously physically injured. So I have no sympathy for this dude whatsoever. I'd say the officers used the appropriate amount of force.
Detectives did locate a Glock Model 44 pistol attributed to Mr. Jackson on the scene.
That's a nice pistol. It's a nice newer one too.
Ballistic evidence recovered at the scene was forensically identified as having been fired from Mr. Jackson's firearm.
I would like to know more information about where this gun came from. I kind of seriously doubt that this guy was legally able to go out to a gun store and buy this. In fact, let me continue to play it. He might be a felon.
No detectives fired shots, and no detectives were injured in this incident. The St. Louis County police detectives involved in this use of force are 38 years of age with 14 years of law enforcement.
The St. Louis County Police
30 force are injured and fired from Mr. Jackson's firearm. No detectives fired attributed to Mr. Jackson.
I thought they had mentioned his charges, but the guy, I don't think, is able to legally go buy the gun. With all that he did, all the stuff going on, I'd say that there's a pretty damn good high chance this guy's a convicted felon. So if he's a convicted felon and he can't go to a gun store to buy the gun, how's he getting the gun? He's either got friends and family that he was able to give money to go out and buy a gun from a store and then give it to him, which is illegal. It's known as a straw purchase. I don't think that's the most likely thing. I'd say the most likely thing is it's probably a stolen gun. Either he stole it or he bought it from someone who stole it. I'd say this gun was probably left in a car and he or someone else broke into that car and stole the gun. A lot of guns end up on the streets because they're stolen. People leaving guns in the cars and cars getting broken into. People will leave the gun in the center console of a car, and majority of center consoles and vehicles do not lock. Or they'll put it in the glove box and they won't even lock the glove box. That's a problem. If you're going to be leaving your gun in the car, you need to put it in a locked compartment that comes with the vehicle, or the best option is to get an actual gun safe to put the gun into. If you are carelessly leaving your gun in your car in the center console unlocked, you're leaving it tucked up under the seat, you are jeopardizing our Second Amendment rights. When the anti-gun crowd starts to talk about gun violence and produce numbers, those numbers have a large contribution from stolen guns out of vehicles. A lot of the guns used in street crimes are stolen guns. And it's not just vehicles that get stolen out of, they also get stolen out of homes. So a person leaves home and goes to work, and they're gone out of the house for 10 hours out of the day, and they leave that gun on the nightstand or in the nightstand. It's still accessible and operable to unauthorized people. It doesn't take much of anything to kick open a residential door. Like your front door, your back door, it could be easily kicked in. Anyone can kick your door in, rummage through your house while you're not there, and find your gun in the nightstand and take it. So if you're going to be leaving your gun at home, leaving your gun in your car, you need to have it locked up in a safe. The best way to keep your gun from being stolen is to have it on you. But a lot of people are afraid of taking their gun into work or other places because of gun-free zones, gun-free zone laws and stuff. They're afraid they're going to get in trouble. They're afraid they're going to lose their job, etc. There's allowed versus able. You may not be allowed to carry a gun into a certain place, but you are certainly able to. So that's something you may have to think about and come to a decision on your own. Am I going to follow this goofy gun-free zone law or rule? Or will I break it and carry the gun with me? I think that a lot of people think that they think, well, what happens if I get caught with it? When instead their mindset should be, what happens if I get caught without it? Gun owners, we're our own worst enemy. We are the ones who give the ammo to the anti-gun crowds. So you need to get your stuff together and stop leaving your guns in the cars. Stop leaving your guns at home. If you do, get a safe to lock it into. Keep good guns out of the hands of bad people. Hold on. They had his photo. There it is. I knew they talked about his charges.
2nd, 2023. The suspect, now identified as Taiwansley Jackson, age 42, of the first block of Capitol Hill in St. Louis, Missouri, was charged with 1 count of assault first degree, 1 count of armed criminal action, 1 count of resisting arrest by...
So the unlawful possession of a firearm, that right there tells me that he's a felon. You can tell that he's got some he's got some road rash right here from being ran over. He's even got that look like he's like 42 years old. Yeah, definitely not his first run-in with the police. You know, I actually would not be surprised to find out if this dude was out on bond, he's on probation or parole, or something like that, or probably has warrants out for him. It's an unfortunate recurring theme here in this nation. Repeat offenders, violent offenders, being given little slaps on the wrist and then released back out to the community where they go to further victimize people. We need some justice reform in this country, but not the way the little social justice warriors envision. Instead of being more soft on crime, we need to get more hard on crime. People like this, after this incident, this dude's 42, right? This incident right here, the amount of time from these charges that he got, this dude should never leave prison. Like, this dude, because of 1, his age, and then 2, the amount of time that he should be getting from these charges, he should pass away in prison. He should never see the streets again at all. The only time that he gets to leave the prison is when his family is claiming his body and the funeral home's coming to pick it up to take it to the cemetery. That's the only way that guy should ever leave prison. Unfortunately, with all these charges that he's got, I would not be surprised to find out that by age 48, he's back on the streets. All right, that's it. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.